All right, we're going to do linear inequalities. We've been doing linear equations for a long time. And now we're going to do linear inequalities. We have done inequalities in the past where we graph them on number lines. Now we're going to have two variables, an x and a y. When you have two variables, that just takes it to an x and y axis instead of number lines. This is section 2.7. Let's get started. All right, I want you to just watch this. This is not one of your examples. If you'll come up here and just watch. We have x plus 2y is less than or equal to negative 3. If you'll just look up here. If you'll watch, this now doesn't have an equal. All right, it does not have an equal. I want to ask you, is 0, 3, if I plugged it 0 in for x and I plugged a 3 in for y, would it be a true statement? Let's try it. So I plug a 0 in for there, and I have 2 times 3. Is that less than or equal to negative 3? No. So that ordered pair doesn't work. So that one's not true. What if I plugged in a negative 5, 1? Let's check and see if that would be true. So if I plugged in a 1 here and a negative 5, no, my bad.
Yes, it'll work.
I have a 5 there plus
Negative
a 2
5.
times a
Negative
negative
5.
5 and then a 1. Is that less than or equal to negative 3?
Yes, it is negative 3.
It is negative 3.
So it is.
So negative 3, is that less than or equal to negative 3?
Yes.
It is equal to, so it works, right? Okay, so some ordered pairs will work in here, and some of them won't. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to find out which ones work. You are going to find every ordered pair on the planet that will work. What we're going to do right now is we're going to separate all the false stuff from the true stuff. It's a lot easier than you think, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to graph it, and we're going to first pretend that it's not an inequality. We're going to actually make it an equal, all right? When we do that, some of you like to turn this into y equals mx plus b, and some of you like to find your zeros, all right? If you do the 0, 1, you're going to have a fraction. It's up to you. When we solve for, when we do it with the slope-intercept, we're also going to have a fraction. So you can solve for y, or you can find the intercepts. It's up to you. I like to do the y equals mx plus b, but notice that there's a fraction. Ew. Ew.
Seriously.
All right. So that is going to be, what is 3 over 2? Where's that on the axis?
It's like 1.5.
It's 1.5. That's exactly right. Okay. So I'm going to just show you. We're going to talk about that solid or dotted in a moment. Actually, we'll do it right now. Do you guys remember doing this in the past? If we're going to make a solid or dotted line?
If it's like this, then it's a dotted line, right? If it has the equal to or greater.
So do you think this is going to be solid or dotted, Isaac?
Dotted? Just assuming.
It's,
I can't remember.
When we were doing our number line, was this open or closed circle?
A closed circle.
This was a closed circle, so it's a solid line, okay? So our closed circles would be our solids. Our open circles will be dotted, all right? So this one will be solid. So when I graph this, and I put a little thing up there that says it's solid because it has the equals. All right, so here's my 3.5. My y-intercept was the 3.5 right there. That's down negative, by the way. Negative 1.5. 3 halves, I mean. Then we're going to go up 1 and over 1, 2. I went up one whole, even I'm at the half, so my 1 up was going to go there. So I went 1 up and over 1, 2. There's the next dot. Okay? You won't have to do very many like that. All right, now we're not done. Because we only have, this is the line between true and false. And actually, because we put a solid line there, it is true on that line, but there are more than just that line that are true. It's either above that line that's true or below that line that's true.
And so you just do 1 point on either side.
You can do 1 point on either side, and usually I like to pick the 0, 0, but there's even an easier way to do it.
There's an easier way than 0, 0.
There's an easier way than 0, 0. This is so cool. As long as y is on the left-hand side, we say y is less. Do you see how it's less? Y is less. So less gets shaded up or down? Down. Isn't that the nicest thing?
Well, what if the line's straight up like this?
Then it's left or right. It's towards the smalls or towards the bigs.
Okay, so so if it's pointing this way, that means you shade in this side. If it's pointing this way, that means you shade in this side.
Yeah, so right now we have this one. Am I going to shade up towards the top or towards the bottom? I'm going to shade towards the bottom. Okay,
And
because
so you want us to shade. So when we shade, does it have to be like dark, or can we just?
no, you can lightly make sure I can see it, but I do not want you to like spend forever making like a blackout.
The perfect.
Yeah.
Line.
If you want to actually do what I have here and do kind of some just lines, I'll be fine with that too.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Okay.
I'm gonna do. Yeah.
All right. If you're ever having trouble deciding, hey, sometimes depending on the way the line's slanted, if the line's slanted back up. If the line's slanted like this or something, or I don't even remember. Sometimes it's difficult to tell ups and downs. You might pick a point. Up and down for me is usually I just go right here and I go, and I can tell. It's below, right?
So like this, is this good or just like
Perfect. I love it.
boom?
It was a solid line. This has got a lot of details.
Was that
You not only have to
was that
find...
an example from the homework?
That was not.
Okay.
It wasn't.
I'm
Okay, we're going to do one now. I want you to remember, there's a lot of details in this. The things you have to remember is you have to graph the boundary line. You're going to graph your boundary line. Make sure then you have to decide if it's dotted or solid. For me, since I do it in pencil, you need to realize that if you make a mistake, the cool thing about if you drew a line that... And like, oh no, I needed to dot it. The cool thing is you just come and dot it. All right, just dot it afterwards, okay?
What about a line
So don't
like
stress
this?
about it.
What about a line like this?
Just 1 second and I'll show you. And then after you figure out if it's dotted and solid, you have to still shade. So there's lots of things to do. Lots of things to do. All right, we're going to do number 1, and then I'll get to yours in just a minute.
Question about
Yes.
number 1.
All right.
Is it still 2.6? This is 2.7. Oh.
2.7.
We're ahead of you.
Not for long. She'll catch up and
I
she'll
know.
pass.
I'm waiting for her.
All right, just say, let me do 1 and then I'll get to 2. Okay, here we go. Let's do number 1 together. I'm going to start at -3. I got to pick a different color. -3. And I'm going to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. But I am also going to go up 2 and back 1. And I'm going to draw my line. Is it going to be dotted or solid?
Solid.
Solid. And I don't think I get to have... My little lines that I have aren't... I can't make dotted lines. So I'm going to have to... Oh, can I? Just a second. What happens if I do... I'm going to test this. If I do... I wonder if I can do my little... Can I do it? I can! I'm so excited. I can make it dotted.
You can use your eraser?
There we go. I can use my eraser and make it dotted. Okay, so I have it dotted. Now, the question was, am I shading it up or down?
Down.
All right? And so, down...
No.
Wait,
Is it down or up?
No, it's solid.
It's solid. Oh, so I don't want to do that, do I? Okay. All right, so I don't want to dot it.
That was really cool how you just did that.
All right, so I undid my negatives, made it positive. All right.
Wait, no, it's up.
Is it up or down? I heard somebody say down. I almost
was
did it
big
down.
Up. It's not pointed
It's
at the
up.
Y. It's pointed away from.
So it's up.
Up.
So what I do, if I can't really decide on this up-down thing, I just come from the line, I put my dot on, and I go up. I go up. And it's on that side. That's what I do, is I put my finger on the line and I go up. And then I can, so it's going to be up here. Did that help, Isaac?
So weird.
If it helps you, Isaac, to pick that 0, 0.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'll catch up in a few years.
You're going to surpass us pretty soon. All right, number 2.
No kidding.
I think he's probably already ahead of us on number 2. Started
I
already.
am a little bit.
All right, number 2. I've got -1, and I'm going to go up 5 and over 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3. Right there.
Okay, so you just get your
Down
Finger
1,
up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw my line. Is it going to be dotted or solid?
Dotted.
Insulting the dotting.
All right, shaded up or down?
Down.
I heard down. Is that true?
Down.
Yes.
Down. So I put my finger on the line and go down, because sometimes it's down here.
What? Okay, so whichever way this is pointing and whichever line it intersects, which side it intersects. So if
Yes.
you put your finger right here and you just go down
Down.
it and it intersects in this area.
Yes. Does that help?
I just use the equal
So
sign.
down.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
I
is
see, yeah.
down. This is up.
And-
Down,
and-
up,
yeah.
down, up.
In a sense, because that line being tilted different ways gets your brain a little confused. And I'm with you, Isaac. That happens to me. That's why I have to put my finger on the line and then come down from there, and then I know where to shade. Okay?
How do you know when to go down and when to go up?
Oh, are you okay? Right over here.
You do the finger.
Look,
when
look,
you when you
look.
use your finger.
Yeah.
Oh well, I know right here that means it's less, right?
Oh,
You can't see that.
Yeah.
Up there it says less, so I know it's going to go down. But sometimes, depending on the way it's
Oh,
tilted,
gotcha.
that up doesn't look up. It looks like which
Yeah.
way? So
Gotcha.
I have to put my finger on the line that's there and come down. Then I know where I am.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
All right. Questions? All right.
I just think.
Now these ones, number 5 and 6, they're not as pretty. So what are we going to do?
I'm turning them into the standard form.
I'm going to put mine not in standard form. I'm going to put mine into slope-intercept.
That's what I said.
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay, so I'm going to move that over there and divide by 5. So I'm going to have 5y equals negative 4x minus 15. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and divide by 5. So I'll have y equals negative 4/5 x minus 3. Am I going too fast?
No, I'm with you.
Heavy.
You're ahead of me?
I'm getting there.
All right, well,
I like it. The enthusiasm.
how you doing, Heidi?
Good.
Good. You with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I messed up. I did something I shouldn't have. I turned that into, it should have stayed like this. Be careful. If you ever divide by a negative, if there is a negative number in front of that 5, what's going to happen to that inequality? It's going to flip. And this is not going to happen on the examples that we're doing in class today, but it could happen on further down problems. So realize that if there's a negative in front of that y and you divide by it, it will flip that
Can you
inequality.
tell that this is a dotted line? Like, I just get my eraser and
I can see it. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to start there at 3. 3, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops.
Wait, isn't it a negative 3?
Yeah, it's a negative.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. Negative 3, and then I can't go down 4. I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What if I get a 6 there? That's a 5, but it looks like a 6.
Dotted or solid line?
Dotted.
Dotted. Okay. Shaded up or down?
Down.
I'm hearing down.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, so we got negative 3 here. I don't know how much I can edit that out.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna come. We can't come down
God.
7.
I hate it.
I'm gonna go up 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1.
No, like magic.
I forgot I had my
Solid or dotted?
Dotted.
Thank you, Heidi. Keep us on track here. Dotted. I love that I can make these dotted with my little eraser. Okay. So fun.
So I'm guessing it's an equals. Yeah.
You guys
So-
are so weird. Golly.
You
A-
started it, my man.
This is the one I think it's difficult to know which one's above and which one's below because it looks more left and right, not above and below, okay?
Then you get your finger,
So you get your finger out,
and then you go more,
and I put it on the line, and then I go up.
and so you shade to the right.
So I shade to the right. Exactly correct. I almost said exactly right, but exactly correct.
Yeah.
Okay? As long as that Y,
You eating chips?
How about everybody
It's on the
quiet?
right,
That
we look
sounds really cool.
okay? All right, any questions on this?
No.
All right. When you're graphing inequalities, the first thing you need to do is do your boundary line. You need to decide if it's going to be solid or dotted based on if it's greater than or equal to, or just greater than, or less than or equal to, or just less than, okay? Then you need a shade afterwards. There's a lot of details on this. It's going to help you to hone in on your detail-orientedness. It's something, whether you are going to do anything with algebra in your life after this, many of you think you're not, but you're going to use these logical steps, and you're going to use the fact that you're going to get yourself more detail-oriented and keep track of details. People who have to plan things in your life, which you're going to plan things in your life, you're going to need details. You need to keep track of them. This will help you do it. All right, we're done.